Kate was supposed to be like,
get us online, get us online.
Get us online.
faster.
Hey, everybody.
Holy shitballs.
We just watched episode 16,000 of...
What did we do?
Episode
West-
10.
Episode 10.
Season 2.
Felt like 10, 11, 12 is what it felt like. Of season 2.
And we're late because we didn't allow for the episode to be so long.
I didn't know it was going to
Sorry,
be so long. Did anybody else know it would be so long?
No.
I didn't think to check.
Let me sit my fat ass down
Yeah,
here.
what are you doing, Zach?
Well, I'm trying to hurry up to get us online.
Good, then sit down.
Oh, my.
Yeah, we're online, Zach.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's do introductions real quick.
I'm Kate.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Zach.
If you couldn't already.
We're Knights of the Drunk Watch.
And
now
now
our
our
talk
talk
begins.
begins. What the fuck did we just watch?
So we want to start with William since they ended like.
Real quick, I guess I just want to do it again. We want to apologize for being late. I don't think we were on when I said this. We didn't allow for the episode to be an hour and a half. We were trying really hard to be on time today, we swear.
We
but
super would have been on time if we had finished half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't check. So,
Well,
losers.
choices.
Okay, Kate.
William.
Oh my god. I don't even know.
So there is a third
timeline.
Well,
that we've been watching for 2 seasons that we didn't know about?
No.
well, yes and no. I mean, I think what we haven't seen really is the end of William's, because we saw stuff when William was like taking over and when he was young William.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think, but we never really saw that. We didn't, like, there were still gaps that, because then we like jumped ahead to it was the Man in Black and he was there with Delos and then he went into the park. We just don't know. There's still more to tell of William's story and how he got to be where he
And
is.
how did he...
So the weird thing is the thing that we see is So I mean, because we see Bernard roll up on the door on the side of the hill,
Right.
and but we don't see Dolores get there with him.
Correct.
Because Dolores rolls up with the Man in Black.
She rolls up with the Man in Black and finds Bernard. No, what we assumed is when the Man in Black stood up, that he walked right into the forge. He probably walked to somewhere else.
Okay, that's true. But we do know that's not a whole other timeline. That happened, well...
He had the same injuries.
No,
he had the same injuries.
what I'm saying is that there's, over those last 2 seasons of William's story, there are huge gaps.
Yeah.
So it's not that we had a third timeline that we were watching and didn't see what happened.
But how do you have the same injuries?
Because that is who the Man in Black was then. We didn't see where William became a host.
We're missing William's death, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Because there's huge gaps in his story.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be more season 3.
So what I'm trying to get at is that was William. That wasn't a whole new timeline. That was William after Dolores blew his hand off.
Yes.
And then he went into some place that was not the forge.
Not the forge.
Essentially a Papa Delos room, but for
Right,
William.
but his.
That is run
Because-
by Emily's host.
Or at least someone
Emily.
who looks like Emily is testing him. But see, that's why when he was telling his wife, before she killed her, he talked to his wife, he did the whole, like, rub my arm thing. That's when I first said he's a host. So he was probably a host then.
But why didn't he find...
Wait a minute.
Why didn't he find his host arm bits when he was digging around in his arm?
Because they may have evolved the technology where they don't have that port anymore.
Well, I mean...
Because that was a Ford port.
As Crystal said, he dug around in his arm quite a bit and still was just, like, using it.
Yeah.
Only a host could do that. He wasn't seeing what he wanted to see. Because he's...
Oh, that doesn't look like anything to me.
Or the port wasn't there anymore. That's a different model.
Well, I guess now we have models that are scanning the Well...
Yeah, we have models
that are
like
passing
hell.
DNA
They can pass, but can't pass the what's his name? The
No.
Skarsgård test.
To be fair, that test is only to check if they have the explosive in their C4.
Oh, is that what it's doing?
Yeah. Yeah, because they specifically
So if they were built without the explosive...
If it was like the new Maeve...
That's a stupid test.
Well, Zach, you keep doing this from the assumption that they know what we know. They don't know what we know.
That's a
They
dumb...
know that all hosts are built with an explosion in their... Like a bomb in their C4 vertebrae. And so if someone doesn't have a bomb in their C4 vertebrae, they're not a host. Anyway,
Get with it.
That's just true. Okay, are we done with William?
No.
Because
it looked like, to me, when he went down there, it was several years or months later.
That was a different facility. That was not
the ceiling was broken. There was sand on the floor.
I don't think it was.
We have to go back and look.
Unless...
It looked dilapidated. It didn't look pristine.
Unless the forge was where his room was, and they because also Stubbs stayed on the island. He said his job was to protect the hosts.
Yeah.
So they may have, because it's the moneymaker, they may have rebuilt the park. They may have, what we saw here was actually
Hightailor
was William repeating like that whole episode
the memory, and I'm willing to buy that.
And now what we saw was like just like Dolores went
That's
back to
William's memory.
Yes.
That we saw.
Yes.
No, what we saw was it happening, but what we saw at the epilogue was William having done it again, like for the millionth time.
Correct.
Just like Dolores always went back to the church, but could never finish until Ford.
But that was also buried too. So this also to me looked like it was. Emily had been in the park, I guess, secluded somewhere where she was safe, and Emily,
an airtight room,
right? The Emily we saw William interact with, that he shot, was a host,
or was it the real Emily,
or was it his?
This is host Emily.
I think it was host Emily.
Yeah,
because that I would assume,
except for what we saw here, she kept referring to him as William. Not Dad.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing he did to James Delos. He kept calling him James.
Well, but he wasn't his father. He was his father-in-law.
And that's not her dad. That's a robot.
Well, but it's supposed to be your dad.
But we also have, so that whole interaction in theory happened right before the 11 days ended, because we also have William, the man in black, as Dolores is leaving on a cot.
Right.
So he's been with those same injuries, which just confused me even more now.
Or he goes just like James Delos did, goes to the same situation.
So he keeps getting his hand blown off.
I guess.
So maybe that was William ultimately dying, and so then he has to go through that same end story,
because that's what Logan said about James Delos, that every time the story ends here, it always ends up
right there.
That was in the forge. Yeah.
So this was his defining moment of he got what he wanted.
So in the meantime, they're trying to make William immortal, and they redo the revolt over and over again. So he gets his hand blown off every time.
So William the real William, the human William, dies at the end.
If he hasn't or died already, he died here.
Yeah.
Well, we're saying that we did see the death of William. It's not he didn't die from food poisoning. He died.
Right.
Dolores blocked his gun. He shot his hand off.
Well, they didn't say he was dead, did he? They just said they have a high value asset.
Yeah, and he's in bad shape. But I think Zach is saying that is now host William. No, that doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense.
No.
So then William survives with 4 fingers or 1 thumb and goes on. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm saying if William ultimately dies at the end of the rebellion, then they put him into a host, and in order to get him to achieve fidelity, they recreate the rebellion for him.
I don't know about that.
Just like Dolores
That's a big
always
fucking recreation.
No shit, right?
I think that this end tag scene looked like it was several months later. Like the park is abandoned. Emily flew in.
We aren't gonna abandon the park because we see that.
But this spot that is the end of the park, right? It's a secluded part where Emily can sneak in and rebuild. William.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Taylor wants us to talk about him
Stubbs.
Stubbs.
Ashley.
I mean, he just definitely knows that that's Dolores leaving. Like, clearly he knows.
Well, does he know it's Dolores, or does he know it's just the host?
I think he knows it. Who else would leave?
I think he knows it's Dolores.
I think he
He knows it's Dolores.
How would he know that?
Because he knows Dolores.
Well, and because I think Ford, he had more information from Ford. He wasn't just like Ford hired him special.
Yeah, he said Ford hired me directly, and basically
he told me who to be loyal to.
He was a company man through and through to Ford.
Okay.
And so he knew that Ford had built Dolores to go out and be something bigger than a host in the park. And so he was like, I'm only in charge of the host in the park. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
Bye, see you later.
All right, so let's say hi to Will Wall.
Hi, Will Wall.
Hey, Will Wall.
So Will Wall asks, we can go back. So is Man in Black the first hybrid? And it's just way in the future they put him in the test about Westworld.
Hybrid?
So I guess meaning...
Or is a hybrid where they take...
Is he the first...
A human consciousness...
Right.
And put it into a host.
Right, but no...
No.
Well, yeah.
Right, because all the other... Like Bernard and Dolores, they're all fake consciousnesses.
Right.
Delos was a human consciousness, tried to put him in a body. So William would have been a human consciousness.
But I don't think that they did that before. Because then that would mean that the host... William that was visiting Papa Delos was the William that was visiting Papa Delos was a host.
No, I think that was real.
True.
I think
then that means the Man in Black is not the first hybrid. To answer the question.
What?
That means that the Man in Black is not the first hybrid.
Well, he would be the first to be successful.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Because Papa Delos is the
Papa
first.
Delos never succeeded.
But we also still see him doing the same thing and coming back and getting his fidelity tested. We don't know how
But we don't know where that story fits in the timelines.
No, we don't, unfortunately.
We don't know if that was the beginning of our...
Well, I mean, they have they have the one test. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was recent, where he looks at William and it says about going back to the park. Are you going to go back to the park now? Or some shit like that. And it was older William. It was not young William.
Yeah.
I can't remember what episode it was.
I don't know.
Son of a bitch. Anyways, so I don't know if that will give us some sort of... Okay, what was before the
I think it's bad storytelling, like Andrew told me last year, to make William a host for the last 2 seasons.
Man in Black.
Man in Black.
Man in Black to be host.
That would just
because part of it.
Because then the wife saw the wife saw
Black's journey into the park was part of his fidelity test.
So then the wife
maybe that the revolution was the thing that was different.
But that means the wife saw the file of host William and killed herself based on a robot.
No.
If Man in Black was a host this whole time, she saw Man in Black in that profile. That's why she said he's too dark. I have to kill myself. He is dark-sided. That just ruins that whole...
Is he fiddled with his arm when he was talking to her in bed.
I think
and he also had a twitch at that party, but...
Yeah.
But people have tremors.
I think if
twitch.
He's a host, he didn't become a host.
I'm real.
You don't invent a tremor for a character that would, purposely...
I just think if making the Man in Black a host, I feel like
but that means his whole thing was part of his fidelity test.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was just a fabricated storyline. That means Emily was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Emily. Well, can we talk about Emily for a second?
Yeah.
I guess.
My problem with Emily is that the way we were introduced to her.
Mm-hmm.
In Westworld, doing her own thing. She was there in the rebellion.
Fucking boys, shooting and fucking boys.
Yeah, and she goes, and then she has to swim out to get, across the lake after the tiger attacked her, to then go after her father. So if she was somehow not real or a host or whatever, I don't know. Why did she have to be introduced so independently?
Let's say hi to Mr. Malchor. Hi, Mr. Malchor.
Hello.
That's what I said. The host and Ford never read human history. The running theory that humans won't accept hosts ignores human history and Western legal precedents.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know.
So Taylor then says, psychosomatic, I don't feel like that's been a host or is one.
Yeah.
Malchor. Like, sorry, Mr. Malchor.
I feel like he could be.
I don't buy that Man in Black is a host. That means the wife. That means the wife killed herself.
That early. I mean, he's definitely a host now.
Well, yeah.
Yes, but saying
told.
that what we saw happened
in the beginning.
Before all of this season 1 started.
I don't think he was.
That's just. That means the wife killed herself, and Emily is mad at the host, and it just.
I could see it happening before the gala. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I think we need season 3 to answer this.
Well, but the gala was at least a year after his wife's death.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I definitely.
So a lot of the Man in Black storyline could have been the gala. Where
yes.
I was gonna say I don't think it happened until after what we saw in season 1.
I think so
because
too.
Again, season 1 was all about the maze and how the robots kept saying the maze is not meant for you. Granted, the whole now us knowing that the newer robots can trick
or
the technology.
If he was a hybrid and not a host, then it would still not be for him. Because
and then Will Walls does say, and I was so shocked that we had this epilogue. I don't know if I paid attention to it. We may have to blog about it next year. He did ask if he was one of those things, and she said no.
Who's she?
Emily?
I'm assuming Emily. So what if that he isn't a host? He isn't a host. Mm-hmm. He still has a screwed up hand, but he's been brought into the beach.
But he's not a host.
Wait, no, let me finish my thought.
Oh.
He's been brought into the beach. We have a high value asset who's messed up.
Okay.
He then leaves the beach to go to a place where they're actually recording him. So, he shows up not to be, tested for if he's a host who is fidelity, but to continue to get more of his information so that he can be, afterwards. When they make him immortal, he will be perfect. Because what Will Wall's remembering is that when he goes down there and sees the place is a mess, because it probably flooded, during,
right.
But it wasn't the forge where they went in and cleaned up.
Sure.
So he shows up and he's like, "Am I one?" And she's like, "No." So, but she's testing him for what just happened? How did you react? So it can be recorded to be made part of his core.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So you're thinking that we have not seen him as a host at all yet.
Right. He's been preparing himself to become a host. Or a hybrid. He's been preparing himself for his immortality, and so once he got up, he went somewhere to where he could have more information. Just like, Forge Logan was like, we had to keep recreating things over and over again to see where he would go, and and that's they didn't have enough information. So William is making sure they have all the information.
Okay,
I can see that.
So who is Emily?
A host.
Well, that Emily would be a host, which would make sense why he would thought his real Emily, because she was over with the dead bodies. She was laid out as a human. She was not in the pile of host bodies.
So Man in Black killed his daughter.
So he killed his daughter, but his confusion was because he has a host daughter. Host versions of his daughter exist.
That he knows of?
I mean, they're not like his daughter immortal, but they look like his daughter.
They're the host.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
Yeah.
Because he's sick.
Mr. Malchor says the last Man in Black scene was a fan service.
Well, if the service was to confuse the fuck out of us, then thank you, HBO.
I mean, I don't... okay.
Let's move on.
Okay,
let's do some quick ones. So let's just go through some quick people. Lee, his ending, I thought was pretty great, although I still don't love him.
Which one's Lee?
Oh,
Lee
Sizemore.
I'm gonna miss Lee.
I mean,
nah, bye.
I mean, basically, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to miss hating him.
He played his part.
But he also
he redeemed himself.
He redeemed himself.
He did at the very end.
He played his part.
So many. I feel
before
like he
the
had
end.
so many peaks and valleys. Like even when he would redeem himself, then he would just be like, nah, but I am preserving myself more than anyone else. So, you know, he this was his, like, he ended on a peak, I think, and this was his probably highest peak. So he ended at his best possible moment.
But it also reaffirmed or it contradicted the fact that humans can't change their code.
Yes.
So the fact that Sizemore was so self-serving
the whole
time that he would actually have himself killed to make sure.
At any point he could have dropped his gun and stopped.
Right.
And they still probably would have gotten away.
Correct.
If he wanted to, die all.
But he wanted to. So I think that sets up a contradiction to what Dolores thinks she knows about people. Because the whole basis is, this is the book I read. This is how they are. They will never change. So it sets up a little kink in the plan.
We also have Felix and Sylvester. So they are now in charge of all of the hosts.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because the woman was like, we need to start cleaning this shit up.
Yeah.
See if we
You
can salvage
go through
anything.
them and salvage who you can.
You need to salvage Maeve.
Yeah, and so of course they were like, hell yeah, we're gonna salvage Maeve first because she's baller as hell.
I don't like that Maeve ended up like this.
Okay, we're just talking about like
Okay,
big people.
sorry.
But yeah, so that was just them. I like that they're still in the fray, even though they got lost.
Mr. Malcor, we thank you for watching on your tablet. We love your tablet.
Yeah, your tablet.
Oh yes, we love
Best
your
tablet. I love his tablet. It's so nice.
We love your tablet.
And then who are nowhere near the edge of the screen, I'm sure.
Actually, you did
maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk quickly about Clem, and then we're just gonna dive off into Forever World with the rest of the people we're gonna talk about. So her virus.
Yes.
Oh, and I guess we could talk about like the Ghost Nation and like that whole ending. Kind of. So her virus, she just has to roll by people, and she's just like a stream of anger.
Yeah, because she's using the subnet.
But she just had to infect one person for it to continue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's self-propelling.
Self-replicating.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
It's a proximity thing.
The first person, when she got to the group,
I mean, I think she had to get close because also when they tested it, she like walked over to the glass,
touched the glass,
and then
it's like Bluetooth.
Close enough
it's
for
like
it to connect it to make it over the subnet.
It's like Bluetooth file sharing. She had to be closer into the bubble to. I'm assuming I know very little about technology.
Okay.
But I mean, what was the point? I don't know what the point was of them killing all the hosts. Why? What was? Well, they didn't see.
To start over. I'm pretty sure they just wanted to say, we need to shut this shit down. There is a revolution.
Start the whole thing over.
We need to shut it down and start over because they know that they assume that once they get all the hosts and all their bodies and all their cores, they can wipe them, start over, and not have to start from the very, very beginning.
But again, so stop. That wasn't Hale. That was Dolores that made Clementine.
Yeah.
Dolores made that bomb. So how did Dolores see?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was after they got Bernie.
No. Yes.
When Bernie laid down in the sand to take a nappy by, he had already made Dolores in Hale.
But Hale with the bomb was
after they found Maeve.
Right, but it wasn't before they found Bernard.
Was still in the 11 days.
So it still could have been.
That was Hale.
Because then she went back and killed. She sent out the bomb. Then she went back and they said it's going to flood. We got to go back. Then they went back, and then that's when Bernard got separated from them and switched Hale out. the real Hale shot Elsie.
That's right, Elsie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the last thing the real Hale did.
Because she was dumping Elsie's body down in cold storage when the switch happened.
Okay, Mr. Malcor says Maeve was one of the ball brain, or
that's one of our questions. That's going to be one of our final questions.
Oh,
What
yes.
She bring with her.
So
I
don't think so.
No.
I don't think Dolores took
I don't think
Maeve.
so either.
But we're not.
She definitely took Teddy.
Wait,
oh,
that's
sorry.
not-
I'm sorry.
Wait,
Sorry.
pause for the cause.
Mr. Malcor, we're gonna get there.
We already
Apparently.
did that. That's one of the things that we're going to talk about. But we want to
Okay.
finish our Clem virus thought with Hale.
So again, I think that's useless. I think it was just. I mean, if it wasn't Dolores killing everybody, I can believe Dolores wanted to wipe out everybody.
But also, I can see.
But she had her chance. She was trying to end all the hosts in the Forge.
Yes.
Dolores was, yes.
Dolores
was.
What does Hale care if they jump off a cliff?
But no, I think Hale, Delos would want the host. They wanted to just shut it down and start over. So they wanted to just kill
And so
all
they
the
were.
hosts.
They were jumping off a cliff for what she could see.
But she didn't know that's what was happening.
Yeah, when
She didn't see, oh, look, they're all killing themselves. Send the bomb in anyway.
Yeah.
No, she sent the bomb in.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was just a waste of time on Hale's.
Well,
I mean,
she also
schedule.
wasn't out there seeing that, she didn't talk to the Ghost Nation, and the Ghost Nation were like, oh, we're going to go jump off this cliff.
Yeah.
Cool, I don't have to
I mean,
make the
Hale
bomb.
certainly couldn't see that they were going into Eden.
And also,
No,
until she
she
rolled
couldn't.
up
No, she
on them,
could-
she didn't know that they were going to jump off a cliff. She just knew that they were heading somewhere.
Yeah.
So she has to plan for the fact that all the hosts are still alive.
Okay.
And definitely not about to jump off of a cliff.
Okay.
What?
I think it's a waste of time, but okay.
I mean, she was coming up with a way to shut all the hosts down so they can regain full control of the park.
Yes.
Yes.
And she did all of that in a bunker underneath the ground without watching the host and being able to predict that they were about to jump off a cliff.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you. I just think it's stupid.
All right, Maeve.
Poor Maeve.
Because, left we had to talk about, we have Maeve, Bernie, Dolores, and Hale.
Well, I don't think story-wise Maeve had to die.
But everyone died.
Which is, I think, dumb. Because Maeve made sure her daughter was safe. Her daughter is safe now.
Yes.
Her daughter is on the surface of the moon for all we know.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. Well, we don't know where her daughter is.
But she's in this utopia.
She's in
some
utopia.
data utopia.
Yes.
That Dolores sent off somewhere.
So her daughter, I'm going to assume, is now forever safe.
Sure.
At this point.
Until someone finds that place. So now Maeve's storyline can continue, and I wanted her to kind of survive to where she knew her daughter is safe, and I can go on to my next. I don't have to be with my daughter to make sure she's safe.
That's true.
Because her new mom and also Aki's gonna take care of her.
Correct. So I can go on to other things like beat up Dolores. That's what I wanted her to do.
Yeah, I guess having that be a whole thing.
I would have preferred. I guess Bernard versus Dolores is fine. Mm-hmm. I would have preferred a Maeve versus Dolores.
Well, who's to say that's still not going to happen?
Dolores did not
discuss.
No.
Felix and Sylvester are going to salvage Maeve.
But Maeve isn't going to want to leave now. She's going to want to go to the Promised Land and be with
I don't
her
think
daughter.
so.
You don't think so? Then what was the whole point?
Maeve's
sure her
point
daughter
was
safe.
her daughter was safe. Period.
So then now what's Maeve going to do?
That's a choice for her to make. I guess is she going to be the mayor of Pumpkin Town? I don't know. Maybe she'll decide to be the new ruler of Sweetwater 2.0. I don't know.
Maybe she just really likes being
Maybe she'll go back to being Madam. Maybe she will.
Alright.
But I don't like that Maeve died. Is she gone forever? No, she's not gone forever. No. But I don't like that she died.
But what else in that moment, what else could have happened when everyone was dying?
She could have put a bubble around herself.
She could have gotten to the Promised Land.
She could have gone in. That would have been a waste. Because then she would have been gone forever. Because they blasted them out to space. I don't know. She could have done... she's all-powerful Maeve. She could have done a lot of stuff. She could have snuck around, put a body over her, go to sleep until later. I don't know. I don't know. She's powerful. She can do a lot of things. I just don't like that she died. I don't know.
I think that's fair. Okay, Bernie.
Oh my gosh, that's another one that makes my brain hurt.
Well, at least I know that all of his memories are scrambled.
Yes.
On purpose. So I don't feel bad about not keeping up with all the timelines. But
his memories were scrambled only in one timeline.
What?
They were only scrambled in the After the Beach timeline.
Yes.
Right, but when we saw them throughout the season, they were not happening chronological.
No.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. The point was to scramble them so that we didn't know until the end what the order of the story.
Because that's how he was experiencing his memories.
Correct.
Well.
All
right. That's fair.
Will Wall says whatever season 3 is will be in the future for sure because that makes everything make sense. Man in Black scene can't happen right after Dolores gets out. I agree. I at least agree that
at least 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to go back and look, but it looks like the Man in Black stuff. To me, looks like it's still in the park, and it's in the future, but the park has been destroyed, like Jurassic Park.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Who was your next character?
That was Bernie. We have Dolores and Hale.
Oh, Bernie. I mean, what does this say about Bernie?
Well, Bernie, I think Bernie and Maeve are going to have to team up.
But Bernard is outside.
Right.
So he's going to go back?
Or
Maeve's going to get out.
Yeah. I mean, Maeve wanted to get out until she had
Maeve,
a daughter imperative. If her daughter imperative is gone.
If she gets access to Wi-Fi, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
She's going to email herself out to someone.
But none of us are hosts.
But there's a machine out there.
She's going to get into my computer.
I think she's going to get in someone's computer and print herself.
Oh, yeah, we do have 3D printers.
There's a printer in Bernard's house.
Oh, yeah.
That's how Dolores got made. I'm guessing Teddy's in Hale now. And
so I want to say Hale is somebody else.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get Teddy.
Oh, yeah.
The reason she ultimately saved Teddy is because she's in love with Teddy.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want a girlfriend.
But that's her. But I feel like.
So here's a question before we get to that. But we saw Teddy in the Valley Beyond.
Yes, we did.
His body was flood. It was in the flood. Yes.
Right, but we saw his consciousness
was in the valley.
We saw him in the Shiny Pretty Valley. They showed a scene
of
him
that's
in the
right.
Shiny Pretty
Yeah.
Valley. Just standing there being at the end.
At the end.
Splashing around and shit. And so that was my question: is how did him and Aki's love, like when they just died, they went to the valley?
That's what I'm thinking.
They deserved it.
No. Wait. No, he made it into the valley when he was shot. He still made it in there.
Aki's love.
Oh, love. His love.
His love.
Yeah, his love. I don't know.
Was wiped.
I think.
So I think that's where
well,
they
no,
go.
but my theory was she was in cold storage. So cold storage emptied out. So she could have been with the.
So do you think Bernard had
them all? Just like Clementine was out there for a while. She was probably out there. And so when her zombie body went through, it freed up her code.
She rolled up on the door at the same time as everybody else.
Well, no, I mean I think she was probably part of that group.
I feel like he would have noticed her though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, she was in cold storage. Cold storage was empty.
How did Teddy get there is a bigger question.
Like, how did
I don't remember seeing Teddy. So
he was there.
Well, we definitely saw him.
He was there.
He was definitely in a beautiful, shiny valley.
It was a beautiful, shiny valley.
We can go back and look after this, but he definitely was.
Well, do we assume? Okay, maybe it's assumed that when a host dies, they go to the host heaven.
Well, no, I mean she took his brain, right? She took his. Dolores took Teddy's brain.
We're assuming.
I saw her do it.
Well, yeah,
she took it out of his body.
We saw her take it out of his body.
I don't think death is automatic because all they have to do is kill themselves.
No, stop. Remember she said there's one more thing, and she put that new silver ball into the. Was that Teddy?
One more person I have to bring.
And she put something in there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Was that uploading Teddy into the... Because right after that, she shot him to space.
Or was that the whole key? I don't fucking know.
Abernathy was supposed to be the key.
There was another ball she had and said, wait, there's one more thing. And she put it on there.
Yes.
And shot him to space.
Yeah, the one more thing was changing the coordinates.
Yes, that was the one more thing.
But she put a ball in there.
Well, you have to have the key in order to access the system.
Yeah, you needed the key to turn the system.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know how Teddy got there. Magic. That's a Patronus. I don't know.
Her memory maybe is his code.
But Dolores never went to the valley.
No, she did not.
She never went to Glory. So the memory would have never gotten uploaded. She had to have uploaded him somehow. I'm just so sad Teddy's gonna... So maybe Teddy's not coming back. I don't know.
Alright, so... We answered that one super successfully. Who did she bring? Yeah. She had 5 balls.
She has 5 Dragon Balls.
Who are those balls? Who are those Pokeballs full of?
Bernard.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I would say Teddy, because Teddy is her right-hand man.
Yeah. Well, she's in love with him.
Who else does she need?
Angela. Because Angela was woke for quite a bit in season 1.
And maybe one of them is Abernathy.
Yes, they beat them to San...
Yeah,
Junipero. That's from Black Mirror. It was very much a Black Mirror episode. That's a sad episode if you ever watch that one. So it was definitely Bernard. She had to bring Teddy. We said Angela.
And
the father.
Abernathy.
Oh, Abernathy.
Because
and then maybe the 5th one is just the key, so that no one else could have it.
No, Abernathy was the key. The key was in Abernathy's core.
Okay.
That's why they needed it.
So who's the 5th one? So Key, Teddy, Angela, Bernard, and...
Maybe Ford?
No, Ford's been deleted.
Ford's now...
Memory.
In Bernard's memory.
Yeah.
It's just memory now. He only lives through memory. I don't know who the 5th one is.
Help!
Who got the 5th one?
Somebody give us
She wouldn't have brought Maeve.
No, and we saw she was never interacting with Maeve.
Unless she just...
Because I'm assuming these things she had to go and take
out of people.
Well, she definitely took Teddy. She definitely took Abernathy.
But, well, and of course, if she was doing it as Hale, who knows when she collected them?
Yeah, because that's probably when she got Bernard's is when she was Hale. Did she shoot Bernard when she was Hale?
So there wasn't a Bernard left on the island?
What? No. Because they all knew at the end that Bernard...
Okay.
Think of the main cast of the show.
But, I mean, we also have, we're going to have Maeve and friends. They're still going to be on the island.
Maeve and friends, yes. Maeve and friends are still on the island. I mean...
and whether season 3 they get off or not, that's
I don't think they're going to get out. Yeah, they're not going to get out.
What?
They're not.
Really?
Why would they? They're going to have to start a whole new Westworld.
Yeah, but we don't care about Westworld.
Not
Dolores
anymore.
is trying to fuck shit up. We need to
in the real
stop
world,
that.
Yeah. Let her have it. Who's next?
That's it. But I don't like this. What does that mean?
Men in Black could be bald Dolores takes.
The Man in Black was the host already. She could take his ball.
That's true.
I don't know.
But we decided he wasn't a host yet. That he was still trying to perfect his host code.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't really like the way... I don't know if I like the way the story ended. Because season 1, season 2 definitely was one story.
I'm going to have to watch this whole fucking season
all over again. Me too. Because...
I don't really care the way... I mean, I guess... Dolores got out. I guess Maeve got what she wanted. Bernard is who knows what now. Bernard is still a host.
Well, no, Bernard's mission is still to save all the hosts. So he's going to want to find out where Dolores sent them so he can bring them back out of the valley and into new bodies, probably.
Oh. In the real world.
In the real world.
I think it better make a new printer.
We're gonna need more.
Real tired.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I guess we'll wait till season 3, because this story is definitely ended. This is the end. So the next story is Dolores is out in the real world causing havoc, which I don't know how that helps her cause. If she's just gonna murder everybody,
or attempt to anyway.
I don't see how that's gonna work out for her.
I don't know.
I feel like we got some answers, but also a lot of just like, oh, they totally answered. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like they answered and then gave us complete curveballs.
I just don't understand
movement.
I guess what I don't understand Dolores. I don't understand Dolores. What is
her motivation?
She can't just go and go blah, 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 to start shooting people in the streets. How is that going to advance?
It's not
the race of robots.
But the thing is that so
that's gonna shut them down.
And Bernard took her into like the digital world, and he essentially said that like they couldn't go, like, you know, all of these people couldn't go out, but you, with the information of all of the guests, could survive in the real world. And so I think like she has. Maybe, like, does the key have the guest information? Is that what's all on the key?
No.
She
read all those books.
No, she didn't. She specifically said, I didn't read all the books, but I know enough to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I think she read enough to, like, understand humanity and why she needs to fuck it up. But I still think she needs that library in order to do shit in the real world.
Well, the library is gone.
Because what they said... When they showed up and they took, the key out of Dolores's head, where Bernard had hidden it, put it in. They were going to upload the guest data to the satellite.
Yeah.
And the guy said, "This is way too big. This is something different." And what it was is all the guest data was gone, and it was all the host data. It was, so I guess the Forge was because they used it to work on Papadelos. They still did have that one extra copy that no one really took into consideration of all the host data.
Right.
And so then it was revealed that Dolores actually switched bodies, and then she killed everybody and then uploaded the host data to another location.
So we no longer have guest data.
The guest data, I got the impression that the guest data was gone.
Was wiped.
Was wiped.
Josh UFO is asking, how do we see the next season going?
I don't know.
Dolores waging war on everybody.
For some reason.
I don't
know. Got a bee in her bonnet.
I don't understand how that's going to advance her at all.
I don't know. Although, I mean...
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, no, I don't know shit, Zach. That's what I've been saying for the last hour.
Blonde, skinny woman raises Tokyo. I'm like, well, okay, well, I guess we'll let her. Like, she's going to be blown to smithereens.
But...
Day one.
But I don't... Like, I think that's what it is that I don't... That's why I think having the... Like, if she has the guest data, that makes such a difference. So... Because, if she has that, then she's going to use all that powerful information to do something smarter than, go shoot up.
But the flaw is
something.
She was so cocky that she didn't read everything because she didn't feel like she had to. Mm-hmm. And that she thinks that humans cannot change. That's the flaw. I mean, they're setting it up to be a big gap in her knowledge. She read, what, 1 or 2 books of the shittiest people in the world?
Probably.
Will she read a Stalin, Hitler, and Trump compendium? And then this is what it's going to be? I mean, I think she read a very small subset of humanity. And the information they got from the hosts from Westworld brought out the worst in those people.
That is true.
So she's only seeing information that was gathered in a fucked up laboratory.
Yeah.
That was made to extract the worst in those people.
But also, that information is power. Like knowing the
right,
worst
but you
of
can't.
someone.
But you can't say I know about mankind.
No.
That's stupid. You know about these few rich people who raped and murdered these robots.
Yes.
For 2 weeks on a vacation. That's all you know. It's like putting a rat in the oven and like, oh, look at the rat's acting crazy. I guess we know everything about rats. Like, you just can't. That's not how science works.
No.
It's not how it works. So really, I think Dolores doesn't know anything about humans.
She knows their worst aspects.
Yes.
Of the worst people who went to Westworld. Or the park in general.
I don't think it's the worst people who went to Westworld. I think she knows these people, like the people that she read about, or, you know, the books that she read, she got a collection of, even if it is the worst aspect of these people's lives, it is what they do when they don't have anybody watching, basically. And so she made a judgment, whether it's right or wrong.
She made a judgment.
She made a judgment that says, essentially, I know that people at their basest, most, like, unedited version.
According to her limited research.
Exactly. According to her limited research. But she, you know, whether it was 4 people or 20 people, everything she read was the same and it was bad because these are these people at their base, you know.
I just think that's...
And what, I mean, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that's the judgment that she's making, and I can see the value.
I think what Dolores is gonna, I think part of her going into the world, and I think part of a story arc I would like to see, is that Dolores will start seeing the good in people, because she's going into this with the mindset of people are garbage and monsters. And they're all rich and loaded and feel like they own the place. But maybe she'll go to some places where she'll see that there are genuinely good-hearted people.
Yeah, I mean, and that just requires her to be at all open to that opportunity.
And not that people can change. It's just that there is a variance. There's such a wide variance of people. And that people they do make a choice to do... There is a choice to do good and to do bad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, you can own a gun and do good with the gun, or you can do bad with the gun. Like, there's a choice you make.
Yeah. I mean, and the problem is that she's, like, to be fair, from what she's seen, she knows that there's a choice that you can make. And from the book she read, everyone always makes a bad choice.
But that's in a vacuum, though.
That's in a very specific vacuum.
That's not out with other variables.
Where there are, like, people
watching. There's rules, there's laws, there's, you know, people watching, and you know, she doesn't have a...
Well, but maybe when she's out in the real world, she'll be confused.
Right, and I would like to see that story arc of, wait a minute, this is not what I read about, you know, she meets someone like Mother Teresa or, like, the Pope, and, like, what is your purpose and what are you doing, and you know, so she'll meet those people that will confuse her and make her.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the only way this can go. She can't go in there guns a-blazing, and like.
I think if she doesn't have the guest data, I don't know what she's doing.
So that's what I think about next season. I think next season is going to be Dolores discovering
humanity.
Oh shit! Not all people are bad. People do have a base darkness to them. I do believe that. But we all make a choice not to listen to that part of our minds. I want to kill lots of people. But I'm not gonna, because it's bad. And rules.
Yeah.
You know, like...
I don't want to kill anybody yet, so...
I mean, there's times where I've thought about...
I mean, killing and punching people...
Okay,
like,
fair.
Is very
I don't want anybody to die, but I do like to, you know, see someone fall down. See someone fall down 3 steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be entertaining.
Be in a cast.
Andrew, what is your predictions for the future?
What are we talking about now?
The future of the show.
Mr.
Or do you have anyone you want to murder? Those are the 2 options of what we're talking about now.
I think Dolores is going to figure out how to. She's not just going to figure out. She's going to try to figure out how to destroy humanity, and Bernard and Maeve are going to be in a race against time to stop her.
Oh, Jesus. This is like Tomb Raider.
Yes.
But she also got the message that humans will do anything to survive. Mm-hmm. So she probably knows she cannot eradicate all of them. There's just no way.
Well, does she have a sense about how big
no, she has no
creation is?
Zero.
So.
Yeah.
Like someone said, why wasn't there a fucking history book in that damn library?
Or like an almanac.
Yeah, I mean, anything. A globe. No one had a globe. No one ever mentioned countries and military. Kate, did you give a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't I?
Are we done?
I guess.
Yeah.
We done with the season?
I'm a little
Kate and I will be back because we got to rewatch.
Yeah, we will be doing our rewatch
Oh, you do-
podcast for this second.
Are you doing this like now?
No.
Oh.
Before the next one.
Like this minute? No.
Starting now, marathon. So
over and over again until we fucking understand it.
I guess Andrew just taping stills.
It is
Just
really with the yarn.
Well, we are going back to my possibility of doing like sorting it all out timeline for my
Andrew's printing out stills
for my
timeline.
my panel next year.
So yeah, we'll definitely do a panel on Comic Palooza, but there's plenty to talk about now.
Oh my god.
So if you enjoyed this content, I would encourage everyone to subscribe to this channel. We put out new content every week, except for next week because we won't be doing. We're going to be a hiatus. So we just finished Westworld season 2. The next show we're watching is a limited series called Shards of Glass.
Sharp
Objects.
It's called Pointy Things.
Pointy Things, starring Amy Adams, Patricia Clarkson, and it's a book that you can go out and their books exist and you can flip through them and read them. Apparently,
yeah, it's written by the same person who wrote Gone Girl, Gillian Flynn.
So if you want to join us for that, it's a limited series. So we're just watching. I guess it's gonna be 10 episodes or 8 episodes, and after that, that should get us to possibly American Horror Story.
Something.
Possibly,
Something in a couple months.
which will be our next American Horror Story or The Walking Dead.
It depends on what comes out first.
So thank you, Mr. Mac. I can't say your name anymore. Malcor. Thank you for saying we're fun. Hope you subscribe to us.
He said I was smart.
Yes,
yes, you are very. Kate is a very smart person.
I would have asked that
Very
earlier, but I
intelligent.
couldn't get a word in.
I still can apparently.
So
I don't know what the fuck is happening.
thank you to everybody who works on Westworld for making a pretty cool season, keeping us on our toes at the very least,
It's just
and just making sure we don't know everything about this damn show. Andrew, you want to take us home?
All right, so we are the Nights of Drunk Watch.
And now our talk has ended. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sharp Objects.
Watching Sharp Objects.
Let's hope it starts at 8 because we're going to do a top back at 9:30.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, you guys.
Oh, that's great. The computer was just like cutting me off at the tits.
Was it?
That's great.
That's fine.
Oh.
That's a good picture.